Hi, my name is Eric Russell and I am the Techy agent. So without any further ado, here is my review of the new Basis Peak. Now, it took me a little bit longer to get my hands on the device than I had hoped, but it finally did arrive and I was able to wear it now for a few days, exercise a few times, sleep a few times, and see how the sensors and we'll see basically if all the promises that Basis gives us about their tracking, if they hold up. So let's go ahead and take a look and find out the good and the bad. So let's talk about the good first. First, it's just packed with a lot of sensors. There's more sensors on this device than there are on any other device. So it does have the heart rate tracker, which is kind of the main feature, the main metric of many heart rate monitors, but it also has a perspiration sensor, a skin temperature sensor on there, and so that's great. Those are sensors that just really don't exist on any other fitness watch or tracker at the moment, with I think the exception of the Microsoft Band. I found the swiping interface of the device to be very intuitive, so right out of the box, 5 minutes later, well, once it had charged and I had set it up, of course, the swiping gestures came very naturally and easy. Just double tapping returns you to the main watch face. Swiping up on the right side will turn on the screen. And so it just had a very intuitive, easy interface to learn, and it didn't take long before I was able to navigate to see whatever I wanted to see. The device is light and it's also quality, and those are combinations that you don't often see. So it's very comfortable on the wrist. I don't feel like it's cumbersome and like I feel like it's there. And since all of the tracking on this device is kind of automatic, it's really nice to be able to just set it and forget it. What you're seeing right now is a screenshot from the sleep portion of the app, which is awesome. It's really cool to be able to track sleep, and not just when you're asleep, but the quality of your sleep and the different sleep cycles throughout the night. For me, the all-day heart rate tracking was a really cool feature of this device. A lot of other devices will do tracking while you're working out, but then spot checking throughout the rest of the day. So for example, the Microsoft Band on their website, they say that during the day it will only check for your heart rate once every 7 minutes. But the Basis checks literally 24/7 all the time, and its measurements were very consistent with other heart rate monitoring devices that I cross-checked it with, including a pulse oximeter finger monitor, and then also my Adidas Fit smartwatch as well. Alright, so that's been the good, but let's talk about the bad. The first thing that's bad is that this does not track distance. Now, it doesn't have built-in GPS like the Microsoft Band or the Fitbit Surge, but even other trackers that don't have GPS have figured out ways to estimate distance, and so the Basis just hasn't included that in their analysis. And I feel like that's a metric that would be very important to joggers. The smartwatch-like features like call notifications or text notifications aren't yet available, and Basis has not released when they're going to make those features available yet. While Basis works for both iOS and Android, it officially only supports just 5 Android phones right now: the Nexus 5, the HTC One M8, the Samsung Galaxy S4, S5, and Note 3. My actual exercise experience was similar to what they found over at The Verge, but you can see that graphic here, and that is that the heart rate monitor just began to totally become erratic during actual exercise. I wore another heart rate monitor to cross-reference this with, and they were off by as much as 40-50 beats a minute while I was exercising. Now you can see here the data from my Polar Loop that I burned about 1,000 calories and averaged about 150 beats a minute. It was a very aggressive workout. I worked out for an hour, and then that data was consistent with my Adidas Fit Smart, which said I burned about 1,000 calories as well. You can see here the data on the Basis was that for the whole day I had burned only 1,200 calories, and that was by noon when I had already worked out, and the other devices were showing that I had burned 2,000 calories by that point. So there was 800 calories worth of data missing from the Basis, and that's significant. I mean, if you're missing 800 calories worth of data, where did that information go? Unfortunately, it's hard to tell where that information went because the app takes data and just spreads it around in a very nonsensical way, the app was very frustrating. Here, let me show you a screenshot coming up that shows you data from the workout that's not consistent like other apps. It shows while I was working out that I worked out 3 different times in 1 hour. Now the reason why it did that was because I did a circuit-based kind of CrossFit style training where I would jog sometimes in between stations, and so it interpreted the data as working out 3 different times rather than one consistent workout. And the reason it didn't know that it was all one workout is because the heart rate was dropping out so often and so frequently that it couldn't interpret it as one workout. I love the fact that the Basis Peak is all automated. It's just set it and forget it, but it's only great if that technology actually works. Now I was talking about the app, and I just want to show you a screenshot here. I've never had this happen on my phone before, and I've had my phone now for a couple years. I actually got a warning message saying that the app was overheating and draining my battery because it was consuming 42% of the CPU. I've never had that happen on any other app before, but apparently it running in the background was completely draining my phone. And I realized what was happening when I woke up in the morning after having my phone charge all night, and it was still on the charger and was only reading 80%. I knew that something was wrong, and apparently it was the Basis app running in the background. I had really high hopes for this device. Maybe that's part of it. I had too high of hopes. But I had hoped that at the very least that it would have accurate wrist-based heart rate monitoring and that the data would be usable in some way, shape, or form. And on both of those fronts, it just isn't so. And so my analysis is going to have to lead me to say, you know what, leave this one on the shelf and hold out for the Fitbit Surge, and hopefully they will be able to deliver a product that can do everything we had hoped for the Basis. Now, if your experience was different than mine and maybe you know how to use this device in a way that I don't know how to use, I would love to hear from you. So please subscribe, like, put some comments down below, and I'd love to get some feedback on what your experience was like with the Basis. Also, make sure you're subscribed because we're having a Christmas giveaway coming up here soon, and I want to make sure that as many people as possible know about the giveaway and are able to participate in that. So make sure you like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.